Hello everyone, this is Steven from the Even Steven channel. Today we got a police trade-in gun. We have, oh, it's a little hard to see with the lighting. Anyway, Glock G17, let's see what we got. Yeah, Glock used G17 Gen 2 HGA, okay. 9mm 4-inch barrel, 17 round mag. So this is obviously not a Glock box. This is a big batch of police trade-in guns that had come out over the summer. They've, for the most part, have dried up. I got this particular example from Prepper Gun Shop. Prepper Gun Shop has since run out. The only place that still has it right now is Sportsman's Guide. And the way they phrased it on their website makes it a little hard to tell what it is. But Sportsman's Guide is the last retailer I know that has this batch of police trading guns. So we open it up, and there really isn't much inside. There's a cable lock. The gun, it would have come with a 17 round magazine if your state had allowed a 17 round magazine. I live in New Jersey, and Prepper Gun Shop did not send me the magazine. I understand. I live in New Jersey. They don't allow 17 round magazines. I told them that my FFL would have modified it, would have fixed it to be 10 rounds, so I could have gotten the original magazine that came with the gun. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. So for me personally, all I got was the gun, cable lock, and a bunch of stickers that Prepper Gun Shop had thrown in there. I threw all those stickers out. It was all well and good. I just got rid of them. So we have the gun and no magazine. So I'm going to take this current production 10 round Glock 17 round Glock 17 10 round magazine just to make it look proper and appropriate. And actually the Gen 5 magazine and the Gen 2 gun doesn't look too bad. Just make sure it's unloaded. And let's take a look at the gun. How does it look overall? You know, not too bad. Not too bad. I looked at the serial number, and this particular batch was created, I guess produced in 1990. So this is quite some age on it. So one of the serial numbers there. You can see the serial number there. It's hard to see. The glare is doing some weird things. But I would say for a gun made in 1990, this doesn't look all that bad. There's a little bit of wear on this side. This is probably like seat belt wear, oddly enough. Little scratches over there. That's from seat belts. And what do we got here? So this is very interesting. This has a unique serial number. It says MP0441DC. The MP stands for Metropolitan Police, and the DC stands for District of Columbia. So you can very easily identify these. Not every single gun that the Washington D.C. Police Department got had this kind of serial number, but it's unusual to see a manufacturer make a unique serial number range just for the police department. Usually they'll do it for militaries, but for a police department that typically have smaller orders, you don't typically see this thing. But yeah, so it's MPDC, and then the actual serial number is 0441. How many did they make? I don't know. But I thought that was cool. It was very readily identifiable from its serial number. I thought it was cool, so I bought it. Again, Sportsman's Guide is the last place retail that I know that has this. But what we have here is a Generation 2 Glock 17. So let's go through the features, and we'll start with the magazines. Unfortunately, this is a 10 round magazine. And unfortunately, this is a Gen 5 magazine. Any Glock magazine will fit in this gun, assuming, let me phrase this correctly. Assuming the magazine release is still on the left side, any Glock magazine will fit in any generation of Glock. This will take any magazine. So that's cool, it's good. But like I said, unfortunately, this is not the original magazine. Let's look at the grip. A little slick on the sides. So we got Glock there. A little slick on the sides. But in the back, not too bad. Ergonomically, I actually kind of like it. It's got a certain amount of slickness to it that today a manufacturer probably wouldn't do, but I kind of like this one. I don't know why I like this one, or I feel like I would like this one better than my Gen 5. I had a Glock 17 Gen 5, and this Gen 2, I don't know, kind of does it for me somehow. Again, the texturing is a little slicker than we... Actually, the texturing in the back and the front here isn't too bad. I like the fact this does not have finger grooves. The Gen 3 and Gen 4 Glocks did. I like that the Gen 2 does not. Magazine release is a little bit small. A little small, but not too bad. We got a slide release on the left side only. I guess really no controls on the right side. Slide release, magazine release, slide serration, pretty good. I don't know how well it comes off on camera, but there seems to be some wear. You can see that there's definitely some wear going on here. I would say that's honest wear. It's very light amount of wear kind of over here and over here. It's not that bad. It's pretty subtle. And I would call that honest wear. Like over here, I don't know how well it comes off on camera with the glare from my lights. But I would say this is an overall pretty good shape and has some good honest wear to it. These look like Trichicon night sights. I like the sight picture. They were, of course, at one point night sights. Let me just, there's no way this is still, yeah, this is, You know what, these night sights still work. Huh. These night sights have a very faint glow to them. I'm going to test this out later. I assume they were absolutely dead. But it's possible that these got replaced relatively recently. Usually night sights kind of stop working after 10 years, but there definitely is like a glow there. There's like something there. These night sights might work. That's interesting. Like I said, Trichicon night sight, I like the sight picture. Rear sights, no optics cut from this 1990 gun. Let's see, we got 9x19 Glock 17 made in Austria. Let's make sure there's no markings that we haven't missed yet. We go over here, patent information. Like I said, we got some scratches up here. Made in Austria, Glock, Inc. Smyrna, Georgia. Little Glock logo. I kind of like that. Nice big old ejection port. So we got the standard Glock trigger. This one is not serrated. The Glock 19s that were coming, I guess, around the same time had serrations in the trigger, which I didn't care for. But it's a standard Glock trigger, a little trigger safe. That's the drop safety. And the trigger is a little heavier than I think a gun of this vintage would have, but the Gen 5 has a better trigger. It's a little heavy. It's a little heavy. Let me just see how, personally, a little heavy. Still doable. You know, this is a duty weapon. Trigger guard. So the one thing that really throws me off about these Gen 2 Glocks is that there's no accessory rail here. I'm just so accustomed from the Gen 3s and 4s and 5s to see an accessory rail here. Having it not be there and having this looks weird to me. Like if you said this, what's this? Oh, it's a Glock. You said it's Glock Gen 5, I wouldn't, I wouldn't think much of it. But no accessory rail, no optics cut. This is a 1-pin Glock. Supposedly to increase the strength, Glock would beef up certain internal parts and then put 2 pins in here. I don't know. But yeah, I like it. Looks cool. Let's take it apart. Let's take apart this Gen 2 Glock. Now it doesn't say Gen 2 on it anywhere. I think at some point when the Gen 3 Glock came out, they would put it like around here. So they say Gen 3s, Gen 4, Gen 5s. But it never said like Glock Gen 1 because it was the first one, and they didn't do it with the Gen 2s. It was only until... Alright, so make sure it's unloaded. Pull the trigger, pull back slightly on the slide. This one's a little hard. I'm having trouble pulling down these takedown tabs. There we go. It wouldn't be until the Gen 3s that they actually put Gen 3 on it. So we have standard recoil spring. I'm a little concerned about using the original recoil spring because this gun is like over 30 years old. So I've gone and bought a replacement recoil spring, and my understanding is that the Gen 1, 2, and 3 Glocks all use the same style of recoil spring, so you can use any Gen 3 recoil spring in your gun. So I will be replacing this because I'm just worried that the recoil spring here is worn out a little bit. Let's see how those look. They look pretty identical, except there's some weird waving going on there. So I'll be putting this replacement recoil spring in. Let's take a look at the barrel. That looks pretty standard for Glock, right? Again, that MPDC. A little Glock. Is that on all the Glocks? I gotta check. So I believe this is. So you see rifling in there. So my understanding is that's not really traditional rifling. It's more shallow, polygonal. It's just like different kind of rifling, and even basically you only see these in HKs and Glocks, and even Glock themselves have kind of abandoned this style of rifling. Cool though. The slide looks basically like a Glock slide. Nothing looks like it's changed here. There's the what's that? The drop safety? No, drop safety isn't the trigger. I think this is just like, you know, as you pull the trigger, it deactivates this firing pin. Oh, firing pin block. It's firing pin block. There it is. Forgot what it's called. This looks pretty much like a standard Glock. If I told you this was a Gen 3 Glock side, even a Gen 4, would you be able to tell? See the frame here. My understanding is this is a little bit smaller on the Gen 2s and the later iterations. This is just a little beefed up here. But this looks like a Glock trigger unit, you know, trigger bar, ejector. This all looks like standard Glock stuff, right? That's a little weird, but yeah. Just trying to get everyone a good look at it. It's an interesting angle. But yeah, this is like standard Glock. So like I said, I'm gonna put the original, not the original, replacement recoil spring in there. My understanding is that standard Gen 3 recoil springs will fit in there. And if somehow I just screw that up, I will let you know. I'm trying to think about where this should go. Where on the see how it has steps here? Not sure if it's supposed to go here or there. I'm going to put it on the lowest point. Let's see. I'm concerned this is not going to fit. Let me see. Let me see something here. I'm concerned this is the wrong one. All right. All right. Now I'm worried. What's going on? I thought this was supposed to be the right one. It's not going in. I'm concerned now. Let me see something. Where does this go? So this is the original one. This one seems to go... I'm trying to get it on this second notch here. It seems to go in pretty easy. Alright, it's the second notch. I thought this was supposed to go in without any trouble. It's supposed to be interchangeable. It's not quite doing it. Okay, there it goes. Alright. So sometimes when you have old guns, and you put new parts in the old guns don't like that. Trying to see if that feels any substantially different than the old. It seems about the same. I just want to replace that recoil spring in case this one had gotten a little worn out, because you know this is over 30 years old. So I thought replacing a spring might be in order. Now, is anything else really left to go over this? I haven't shot it yet, so I would say I haven't shot it yet. It looks good. Looks like it's in good working order. Everything looks like nothing looks obviously damaged. But you know what? God, this box. I don't like this box. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. This is whatever. Forget this. We need something proper. So I went out and I found online a Gen 2 Glock box, also known as the Tupperware box. I just had to clean this side. It's still a little wet. These are the old Glock Tupperware boxes. I believe it is correct for this pistol. It's not the original one, not the one it came with, but I thought it'd be fun to get it. What do we got going on here? Some warning information. Interesting what Glock thought was important to tell people 30 years ago. But this is the correct and appropriate oh, that's cool. I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. So I got 3 magazines. I just bought 3 magazines. Let's see if I can get all 3 here. Should wait. Hey, that's cool. I like that. That's cool. I like that. So, with that being with that being said, there we go. Okay, this is Steven from the Even Steven channel with my kind of first look at the Gen 2. Okay, I can see why maybe the Glock didn't keep these around. All right. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Anyway, that's a good first look for the Glock 17 Gen 2. I'm going to do like in the next week or two, I know I haven't done a whole lot of videos lately, so I'm kind of busy with work. In the next week or two, I'm going to try to do like a kind of more formal review about how the gun itself works objectively. And then maybe I'll do a comparison between my Gen 2 Glock 17 and my Gen 5 Glock 19. See, maybe we can pick apart some differences. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. This is Steven from the Even Steven channel. Please don't like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll answer as best I can, and I will see you next time. Thank you, and goodbye.